What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast for sports fans by sports fans, because we believe we are the most qualified people to talk about our favorite teams. I'm your co-host, Isaac.
And I'm 40.
And welcome to episode 110, and welcome back. We took a week off last week, but we are all set to go today, and it is a big episode, lots to talk about. We're going to try and wrap it up before the NFL draft. Happy draft day, by the way, to everybody out there. We will be talking about that today, but we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, the WNBA draft, just a whole lot of stuff has happened in the last 2 weeks that we got to talk about. So with that being said, we'll just jump right into it and start with our usual opening segment. What's on your mind? And I'm going to start with Calvin. 40, my dude. What's on your mind? Last 2 weeks, a lot of stuff.
I guess I got to get into what's been on my mind the most lately, and it's my Lakers down 0-2, man. Yeah, I just don't understand. 10 straight losses to Denver at this point. Just can't beat them. It's just sick. I'm tired of seeing it. I watched that game the other night, start to finish, and when LeBron missed a three-pointer and they get the rebound, I said, damn, we just lost this game. Yeah. And sure enough, Jamal Murray comes down, hits a game winner. We go down 0-2, 10 straight losses, like I said. But, hopefully tonight we can sneak one out. And
hopefully, I wish I was confident in the Lakers, but I say this with almost respect. I'm not confident in the Lakers.
Yeah, we have bad coaching, man. Bad coaching.
Yeah, man. I think these playoffs so far, that is a great segue. We'll just segue straight into the NBA playoffs. It says preview down there because this was supposed to be last week, but we're doing it now. So it's NBA sort of preview. They've started already, but it feels like these playoffs have just kind of been a true changing of the guard moment for the NBA, because a lot of the established stars from the last decade or so and the established teams have struggled. Warriors knocked out in the play-in tournament, didn't really have a shot. LeBron struggling, looking like, he can't pull it off by himself anymore. Kevin Durant, KD, Suns are struggling against the Timberwolves. Correct me if it just feels like the established big name teams and stars that we've grown accustomed to, they just haven't had it these playoffs. That's what it feels like.
Well, let's be honest. With Kevin Durant, he probably wouldn't even have any rings right now had he never joined a 73-9 Warriors team. So,
that's great.
KD has always been that kind of guy in the playoffs. Let's not forget that he was up 3-1 against that same Warriors team that he joined and let them come back and beat them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big names in the playoffs, like Lakers, Suns, all those, they're looking very sad right now. The young guys are definitely taking over. I love Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a dog. I love his passion. Love how he's at KD every night.
Did you see him the other night, just, getting in KD's face and getting all in his face? That was awesome.
And it's funny because he, not sure if I'm sure you've seen this video. What do you say? Darwin had problem for LA. Mike Malone is the lead coach, AD in the media. Yeah. And that's a big thing. I'm going to get to that in a second, but to finish Anthony Edwards, I know you saw the video where he was like, they got KD, but we got Jaden McDaniels. So, but it was funny because the other night, Jaden McDaniels had 28 points and, had all those big shots to help them win the game and stuff like that. So the video actually came back to being a true reality thing, which was very funny to me. But yeah, the Lakers problem for sure, Darwin Ham. Terrible coaching. Absolutely terrible. Anthony Davis, 14 for 16 in the first half the other night, and I think he took 5 shots the rest of the game. Absolutely ridiculous. The man took 5 shots the rest of the game. They came out in the third quarter trying to run a lot of pick and roll with LeBron and Rui Hachimura for whatever reason. After, like I just said, Anthony Davis was 14 for 16 in the first half. Why did you go away from him? Jokic couldn't guard him at all. And I understand that nobody can guard Jokic either, but Jokic could not handle Anthony Davis. He was literally bullying him.
If there's one person who can go up against Jokic and I wouldn't say stop him, but control him, I would put my money on AD. Like
And that's the thing.
he can be that guy.
AD was doing a great defensive job on him as well. Jokic did end up putting him in foul trouble. I think he ended the game with 5 fouls, but there was 5 tough fouls. Like
Yeah.
Jokic really went to go earn those calls.
So I'm curious because I want to go over the different series, but Denver's up 2-0. Do you think the Lakers have any chance to win this series, or are we gonna say Denver easily gets this? Because I'm leaning towards Denver. Listen, I don't see the Lakers breaking out of this one. I don't have any faith in them. It's just like I said, like Yoni said in the comments, it's a coaching issue, and I just can't see the Lakers breaking through. That's my take, at least for this series. But you're the Lakers fan here, so let me know. Like,
if we win tonight, I'll talk about game 4 after that. If we lose tonight, we're getting swept. And that's just the truth. And the reason I say that is because, number one, nobody's ever came back from 3-0. Number two, LeBron is also 39 years old.
Yeah.
And he's playing this summer for USA as well. Yeah, like, if he goes down 3-0, I'm pretty sure he's just going to pack it up and just get ready for the summer, because it's like, at that point, you have to put so much on your body to come back from 3-0 in the first round of the playoffs, and you haven't even made it to the second round yet.
Yeah.
It's like, just pack it up. But if we win tonight, I can't count us out.
Hey, man, I'm going to be honest. Like, I think LeBron, if they go on 3-0 and they lose this series, I think you're right. I think LeBron's going to focus on playing on the Paris Olympics. But after that, I think LeBron's whole shtick is he's like, I want to play one more season, either play with or against my son. Although I don't even know if Bronny's going to get in the league because he played 1 year at USC, and from what I heard, it wasn't.
He'll get in just because LeBron.
Yeah, his name, his name will get in. But no offense to Bronny though, because I know what he had to go through at USC with like the cardiac arrest and fighting back from that. It's really inspirational, and I do hope he makes the league because it would be so cool to see a guy play against their dad. But I just don't know. Oh, here we go. Bronny's in the transfer portal. Okay.
Yeah, he is, but he also declared for the draft as well as staying in the transfer portal. So I think the thing is, if he doesn't get drafted, what is there, 3 rounds in the NBA draft?
It's 3 or 2. And let me do this. We'll talk about, speaking of basketball drafts, there was one that happened last week that we'll talk about in a quick sec. But the NBA draft is like 2 or 3 rounds.
Okay. Well,
2 rounds.
Okay, I think the thing is, if he doesn't get drafted, he's going to stay in the transfer portal and then pick a school that he's going to go to.
Yeah.
And go back to school. But
yeah,
I mean, it's LeBron's son at the end of the day. I think that the NBA is just going to do it just to pleasure LeBron, because I think if he doesn't win any games in this playoff series, they get swept. I think next year actually will be his last year, and just go off with he got the chance to play either with or against his son.
Yeah, I hope I hope
if his son gets drafted somewhere else, the NBA cannot. Excuse my language. The NBA cannot fuck it up. They have to make the last game LeBron versus Bronny.
This is why I want Bronny to be really good. This because I want that last game between LeBron's last game to be him versus his son, and his son like a true passive torch one. Because listen, man, Jordan's last game, it didn't. Jordan's final game was. All right. See, I'm counting Wizards Jordan. I shouldn't, because Jordan's real last game was Game 6 of the '98 Finals. Michael Jordan's final game was that match against Allen Iverson and the Sixers in 2003, and that Wizards lost that game. Sixers, they're on their way to the playoffs. It was a no contest. It's like you got to have a better send off than that. It can't just come down to that. But speaking of drafts, real quick side note. Let's quickly talk about probably the most viewed draft, second most viewed draft of this month. We know the NFL draft tonight is probably going to be it, but the second most viewed draft, and the one that surprised a lot of people with how many people viewed it, the WNBA draft, which was the highest viewed WNBA draft of all time, with I think like 2.6 million viewers tuned in to watch.
I will say Caitlin Clark herself, but all of them, all of this whole draft class of women here have changed the basketball game for women completely.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's so quick recap of the draft because I'm going to start talking about the WNBA now because I'm invested. Caitlin Clark, obviously, first overall to the Fever. Cam Brink, second overall, went to the Sparks. I'm telling Cam Brink is like, first of all, Cam Brink is like if a supermodel was good at basketball because she is tall, thin, and also like a defensive monster at Stanford. She was on that Stanford championship team from the COVID year that was like low-key really, really good that like held Arizona to like 52 points in the title game. Granted, they only scored 54 because Arizona's defense balled out too, but it's pretty good. Camila Cardozo, who just won the national championship with South Carolina, went third overall to the Chicago Sky. Rickea Jackson, who balled out at Tennessee. The only team to come within a whisper of beating South Carolina all season, was drafted fourth for the Sparks. Then you had Aaliyah Edwards from UConn going to the Mystics, and Angel Reese going to the Chicago Sky. Chicago, just so we know, the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever are arch rivals.
Yes, and not only that,
it's been set.
The Chicago Sky, I don't know why the WNBA allowed that for them to get the two most dominant bigs in this women's draft here.
Well, you can blame Minnesota for trading their first round pick to Chicago. That's what happened. Some players I'll keep an eye on from later in the draft. There was Nikki Mule from UConn who went to Seattle to the Storm. The big surprise, I think, the biggest surprise of the entire night was when Kate Martin, Caitlin Clark's teammate from Iowa, who was there to support Caitlin Clark, got drafted by the Las Vegas Aces. That was a massive surprise. That was massive. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Yoni says, don't know team needs in WNBA, but surprised Angel Reese fell to 7. I was a bit surprised too. Part of me wonders, and I don't mean to stir the pot, but I'm just bringing it up because, now, we be respecting women's basketball now. So now we can talk about them like how we talk about the NBA. Part of me wonders if people looked at the drama, the non-existent drama from college that didn't exist. It was just pumped up by the media. Part of me wonders if that explains why she fell a bit. Because I would have thought Angel Reese would have gone top 5. I was genuinely surprised she fell to 7. I was like, whoa, okay, let's wait a minute. Like,
falling to 7 though was probably the best thing that happened to her because now her and Camila can be the most dominant front court in basketball.
And that's if they make the team, because this is something I didn't realize until it got brought up on social media afterwards. It was originally, all the naysayers, the trolls were like, oh, well, here's the truth about the WNBA. And it was like, oh, that fucking sucks. You're right. But that still fucking sucks. We should change that. It's that a lot of the players who get drafted don't even play because the WNBA doesn't have a G League. They don't have a place for players who don't make the cut to like go and hone their skills like the NBA does. They also only have like 10 teams, 10, 11, 12, something like that teams. There's not enough spots. And with so many good players in the WNBA currently, pretty much if you weren't taken first round, your chances of making the team are slim, and you'll probably end up playing overseas. And that's something I didn't realize. Now that that's come out and it's been brought up, it's like, hey, like some of these like favorites aren't even gonna make their teams. It's like, oh, that sucks.
That maybe really sucks. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That really sucks, but Chicago Sky has sold out too many Cardozo and Angel Reese jerseys and promoted them too much for them not to be making that team.
Oh yeah, no. If you're first round, like you're making the team, you are. I just worry about the people taking second and third round. Like some of the players taken way down. I'm like, oh boy, okay. Like I hope they make the squad. But it's hard because it's like so many just dominant. There's so many dominant players currently in the WNBA right now. Candace Parker's still playing. Candace Parker is still playing in the WNBA, and she got drafted like 03 with Diana Taurasi, who's also still playing. So I don't know what's going to happen, but we know like the top like 10 picks are probably safe, but everybody from the 11th pick on down, you better ball out in training camp and show that you belong. And I hope they do, because this class, there's something special about this class. The hype, the amount of hype that this class has, the number of eyes that they've gotten to watch women's basketball, not just Caitlin Clark, Yeah, I will say that it is mostly the Caitlin Clark effect
Oh, yeah,
because
for sure.
her 4 years of college like transformed women's college basketball. I think more people were watching it this year than the men's game.
Look, I was just about to say, bro, go look up Mystics game against some other team this year, and then go look up a Mystics game against the Fever this year, and look at the price difference in tickets. It's ridiculous.
Oh, and listen, am I a bandwagon for jumping on the Fever hype train? Maybe, probably. But I'm gonna be honest. Hear me out. Fever already got Aaliyah Boston. They had the number 1 pick last year. They have the 2 most recent number 1 overall picks and 2 of the most dominant college players we've seen in a long time. They're going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if anyone's going to beat Las Vegas because they kind of assembled a super team and they're like, scary, but we'll see what happens.
Man, I'm on the Chicago Sky bandwagon, man. They got Cardoso and Reese.
Here we go. All right. Let's circle back to the NBA because I want to predict all of the sort of predict because it's already started. I want to predict all the series. First, let us lament the teams that did not make it out of the play-in tournament. In the West, rest in peace to the Sacramento Kings. The beam could only be lit for so much, for so long. And rest in peace to the Golden State Warriors. I do want to take a pit stop here because holy shit, the Warriors completely fell apart. Is this the end? I know I probably sound like one of those ESPN commentators who always says stupid shit, just to start shit. You're like, is Dak Prescott washed? Let's discuss for 2 hours instead of talking about any other sport that we cover. But I have to ask, is this the end of the Warriors dynasty?
Before we get into that, my answer is yes, 1,000%. But before we even get into that,
I'm glad we agree.
Does Curry have more help on the Warriors than LeBron does on the Lakers?
Well, I don't know.
People in the comments, you can give us your answer too.
It's just Yoni in the comments, but yeah, okay. If you're also watching, go into the comments and pull let us know. Yoni says Clay is about to be a free agent. Don't know if they want to resign him. The owner said he wants to be under the luxury tax next season. I think I'm honestly, you could disagree with me on this, but I was gonna say that no, Steph has less help than LeBron. Okay. Because Clay is not the same Clay he used to be, and it's a shame, but it's the truth. It's our truth. Draymond is just out there to start fights. That's it. And he's kind of it's kind of getting to the point where it's like, all right, bro, you need to chill. They don't real. Wait. Who else do the Warriors have?
Kuminga, Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski or whatever.
Oh my God, yeah, LeBron has way more help. LeBron has slightly more help. Steph, I actually would agree with that better. Slightly more help because, and here's why I say that. Even though the Lakers are struggling right now, we know it's a coaching thing. LeBron like balls out every game, but he doesn't always have to because he does have AD. And they do have the Lakers have a lot of depth on their team. It hasn't meshed well, but it's there. It's there. The Warriors, you can't really, and this is coming from someone who does. Keep in mind, this kid's come from somebody who doesn't really watch the NBA as much and is trying to get back into it. The Warriors, to my knowledge, it's basically just the remnants of their like death lineup from the 2010s, and then a bunch of guys who I've never heard of. That's my take. So I feel like those remnants of that lineup are still good enough that the team is still like they're still there, I guess. I don't know. I want to hear your take on this though.
I would say that Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton, Brandon Podziemski, and Trace Jackson Davis did a lot more in that playing games than Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and all these Spencer Dinwiddie's and Gabe Vincents have done in the last 2 games against Denver.
Right.
They did more in one game than these guys have done in the last 2 games. I haven't seen Gabe Vincent make a shot yet in this whole entire. I mean, not Gabe Vincent, Spencer Dinwiddie. I haven't seen Spencer Dinwiddie make a shot yet in this whole entire 2 games that they have played in the first round. I don't even think he's attempted a shot. So maybe it's a coaching thing. Maybe the Warriors just ran better.
Says Paul's going to replace Clay.
I like that.
Season.
I like that. That's a good take.
All right.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a good one too.
I can agree with that.
But you would agree with saying that the dynasty is officially over.
Oh yeah, that shit is done for. Clay's out of there. Who knows? Draymond might be out of there too.
Are we going to get a Milani sighting on the pod?
What's up?
What's up, Milani?
Say hey.
She's like, I came to get some chips and that's it. I like you guys go back to talk about sports. I'm just here to get some chips.
But yeah, Draymond, who knows? He might be out of there too. Clay is definitely gone though, so this is the end of the dynasty for sure.
And I can't believe I'm saying this because I used to hate these dudes so much, but man, I'm gonna miss it because I will be honest. The NBA, when the NBA had that, like when the Warriors dynasty was at its peak, it was literally like watching them fall for the first time in the 2019 final. Watching the Cavs and the Raptors beat them are experiences that I will always love because that's so it was so nice. I said this on the pod a couple episodes ago. Every sports league needs that one team that's so good. It is so hard to beat them that when somebody finally beats them, it makes history. Like you have to come back from 3-1 to beat them, or you have to be the first team not based in the US to beat these guys. Like the Warriors dynasty, as much as people lamented it at the time, were like, fuck, fuck these guys. They were ruining the game. They're so good. KD is a snake. It's at the end of the day, we'll look back and be like, wow, that was like they had one hell of a run, and it is just awesome. It was just awesome to watch.
KD is still absolutely wild for joining them though.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest. I don't want to swear because Milani said that's the biggest what move in NBA history. Yoni says, I missed the 2015, 16, and 2022 versions. The reason I didn't like the KD move is because they weren't as fun to watch anymore, even if they were captivating by being the depths. Yeah, I'll agree with that because once KD joined there, it really felt for a few years like, no, you just can't beat them. So when they lost in 2019 to the Raptors, because don't get me wrong, that Cavs Warriors series of 2016 is still one of the best basketball series I've ever watched. But I think I liked the Raptors victory in the finals more because that Raptors one was a battle. Like the Raptors went in being like, all right, like these guys have just completely annihilated everybody the last 2 years. We have to stop them. With the Cavs, it was more like LeBron, like, I got to do this for my city. We got to stop. This team is the greatest team of all time. We got to take it down. The Raptors, it was like, all right, we are facing probably a team trying to become the greatest dynasty of all time. We got to put an end to it.
The thing is, too. Yeah, that's true. The thing is, too, all those dynasties were built to beat one man. Be honest.
Yeah, because before that, LeBron was just chewing them up every year.
And they lost that 2016 finals and then went and cried in the parking lot. Please, KD, please come. Like they knew if KD didn't come there, they couldn't beat Bron and Kyrie. Bron and Kyrie would. Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it. Bron and Kyrie should have like 5 right now.
Man, that's one of the biggest crimes that the Cavs didn't win more. Braun might have cut MJ, man. It's sad. Yeah, but the basketball gods were like, nah, the basketball gods are MJ fans, so they intervened.
Yeah, because, and the thing is, too, Braun really should have 5 right now, too, because if Kyrie and Kevin Love don't get injured in 2015, they win that one, too.
Yeah, we don't talk about that 2015 series that often, but
I think we were up 2-1 when Kyrie got injured.
I think you guys were, because I remember that Kyrie and Kevin Love both got hurt.
Kevin Love got injured, I think, game 1, and then Kyrie got injured in like game 4.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of actual like game 1s and 2s, let's talk about the playoffs and predict the playoff series. So in the West, we already talked about Nuggets, Lakers. Nuggets are up 2-0. I say Nuggets are going to win. You say we got to wait till tonight's game to figure out who.
Yeah, we go
Thunder.
scenario.
Thunder are up 2-0 on the Pelicans with Game 3 coming up on Saturday. Who you got in this series?
I like the Thunder to win this series, but I don't think they make it past the first round because they're just so young. I watched one of their games the other day, and they were up like 12 points, 13 points with like 7 minutes left, and they were still trying to push the ball to go score baskets, and it allowed the Pelicans to get on a run to, make the game like a 4-point game. It's like, bro, just relax, run the shot clock out. 20, you can run out at least 20 seconds before you're putting a shot up. They were getting a shot up in like the first 5-6 seconds of the shot clock.
The Thunder are a really, really young team, like you said. And I think they've caught lightning in a bottle in that they were able to sneak in and steal the number 1 seed because of how competitive the West has been this year. Let's be honest. The Nuggets probably should be the number 1 seed. The Lightning, the Thunder caught lightning in a bottle and squeezed it there. I think they get past the Pelicans. I don't know if they get past the second round. That's my take. They'll face the winner of Clippers and Mavs. That series currently tied 1-1. This is looking like it's going to be a really fun series because there's a lot of star power with these two squads. I am going to say that the Mavericks take this one. I have more faith in Kyrie and Luka than I do with Kawhi and Russell Westbrook. It's hard to say because, again, so many stars in this series. But I like the Mavs in 7. I'll take it. It goes the distance because these are two like heavy hitters just beefing with each other. So one of these teams is going to the conference finals, though. I think that they probably beat the winner of Thunder Pelicans.
I like the Mavs in 6, honestly. Well, actually. So look, I like the Mavs in 6 if the Clippers win the next game. If the Clippers win game 3, I like the Mavs in 6. If the Mavs win the next game, though, I like the Mavs in 5. I don't think the Clippers will win another game. Kyrie and Luka are just so dominant. Game 1, I think they just it was yes, they've been playing all year together and things of that nature, but this was their actual like first playoff game together and things of that nature. And environment's a little different. This stadium's a lot louder and you're on the road and shit like that. Like a lot of things can play in factors. So game 1, I think they were just getting a feel out of that. Game 2, we saw what they can do together. And yeah, if they win game 3, they're going to win this in 5 because I'll be honest with you. I think Thunder are underrated youth to me. It's actually an asset.
That's a fair point. You know what? They could. They really could. The NBA is.
Hold on 1 second.
You're good. While he's doing that, I'll be the first to say it. Youth definitely does come into play. That is a good point. That there's a lot of like older NBA teams out there that have a lot of aging stars that can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, that's true. But but youth also plays a factor in the sense that those older stars have been there before, Kyrie's been to a championship before. This Thunder's team has never been to a championship. So his playoff brain is a little bit wiser than these Thunder guys. And he may be able to dissect something that they can't, that could get them a win that doesn't get them a win.
Right. All right. Timberwolves and Suns. T-Wolves currently up 2-0. They're another one of those younger teams that are kind of starting to break out. I am going to take the Timberwolves to win this one in 5. I still think the Suns will be competitive. I still think the Suns will fight back a bit. There's too much talent on the Suns for them to just drop. But like the Thunder, I think the Timberwolves are a young team that's going to get to the second round. I don't know if they'll get past the second round because they're probably going to have to go up against Denver. And oh boy, yeah, like Denver's tough. It's so cool this year because there's so many like new teams battling up front in the West. Yeah, you don't see a lot of the usual suspects aren't here anymore. It really does feel like a change of the guard. What's your take for T-Wolves Suns? Who's winning?
I like the T-Wolves. Anthony Edwards has definitely won me over, and he's probably going to be my favorite player when LeBron leaves this league. I'm going to go with the T-Wolves just because they have a lot of young, great energy. But not only that, they're young, but they have some older guys and some vets. And,
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony. Karl Anthony Towns is young, but he's been in the league a long time now at this point.
Yeah. Oh, he has.
I like the Timberwolves, and even playing whether they play Denver or the Lakers, I'm not going to count us out yet unless we lose tonight. If whether they play Denver or the Lakers, I still think they have a great chance in the second round as well, because they do have veteran guys, and they have a guy that is young that can be the face of the league when the older guys leave.
I like that. I like that a lot. Moving to the Eastern Conference, let's give a moment of silence for the Atlanta Hawks and the Chicago Bulls, who did not make it through the play-in tournament. Who the hell thought they would? That's all I'm going to say. All right. Celtics Heat. Series currently tied up 1-1. These two are – someone on Twitter posted that meme of the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight, when he's suspended upside down at the end of the movie, and he say, like, you and I are destined to do this forever. It's like, yeah, that's Celtics Heat for you. It's like every year now they're meeting. I can't believe I'm going to do this. Celtics have the best record in the NBA. Give me the Heat in 7. Oh, I'm going there. I'd say Heat in 7. I say the Heat pull off the playoff Jimmy. Playoff Jimmy is going to act like Himmy and put the Heat on a ridiculous, like extremely stupid deep playoff run that comes out of nowhere. Give me the Heat in 7. The Celtics blow it.
I'm not even sure if Jimmy will be in for Game 3.
Oh, right. You know what? If Jimmy's not playing, Celtics in 5. But if he is playing, Heat in 7.
Yeah, no, it says he's gonna miss 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, they're done.
Oh my god. Oh my. Never mind. Take it all back. Heat in 5. Not Heat in 5. Celtics in 5.
Yes, Celtics in 5. But who would the Celtics play in the second round?
They're gonna play either the Cavs or the Magic.
I think that the Cavs beat them. I'm not gonna lie. Celtics are very fraudulent. They should have swept the Heat. The Heat haven't had Jimmy Butler at all in 2 games, and I just didn't even know how they let him sneak one out last game. You're a healthy Celtics team. Like, you have everybody. You have Porzingis. You have Jaylen Brown. You have Jason Tatum. You got Derek White. You got Drew Holiday. Like, come on, man. So I think the Celtics win this, but
So that does that mean you're taking the Cavs to beat the Magic in their series?
Yeah, the Cavs are beating the Magic.
They're up 2-0. I don't know, man. You know what? Every year, every couple of days this year, I got on my TikTok page the Orlando Magic, Orlando Magic. The Magic are the closest team to my hometown, down in Tampa. But I'm a Heat fan, so I usually go with the Heat. I think the Cat. It's tough. I think this one goes to 7. I don't know. The Magic are, but I'm going to take the Cavs. Magic are another young team that still's got some work to do before they could really prove themselves. But they could prove themselves by pushing this one to 7. But I still think the Cavs take this. The Cavs are looking really good. This is the first Cavs team I've seen post LeBron that I'm like, all right, they could make a deep run.
I was actually just talking about that at work today. This is the first post LeBron Cavs team that's actually looked good. Because we were just talking about it today, like, I was having an argument at work. I'm getting off track, sorry, but we were having an argument at work today where we were saying it was a LeBron and KD argument, actually. Somebody was trying to argue with me that LeBron did the same thing KD did. I said, no, they're 2 totally different things. I said, this is the thing. LeBron may have started the big 3, but the big 3 that he coordinated to get together, their team the year before was like 40 and 42. KD went to a 73-19. And not only that, how many big 3s has KD had after that? This man went and played with James Harden and Kyrie Irving after that. And then after that, the man went and played with goddamn Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. Like, what are we saying here? It's not even the same at all.
Sorry, I just got a message from my buddy who I'm moving in with about stuff. Shout out Econ. I actually like that take. I like that
But
take.
yeah, no. The point to that being was, we were talking about also when KD left the Warriors, they still won a championship. Braun left the Cavs, they had the first pick, and then he left the Heat, and they were shit. Like, it's not even the same. So this is the first Cavs team since that's actually been good, and I'm happy for them. I love that for Cleveland.
The Cavs low key have been pretty good this decade so far. They've been slowly building up something really good, but ever since Donovan Mitchell showed up, they've low key been really good. But this does feel like the first Cavs team that's like, all right, you didn't have to go through the play-in tournament. You're gonna be a top seed. Good stuff.
Man, I would love for Braun to go back home, and him and Bronny ended in Cleveland.
Oh man, that would be nice too. Bucks Pacers. Bucks completely collapsed down the stretch. Pacers, hot team. Pacers, I'm still reminded if the Pacers got all the way to the championship round in the play-in tournament. Series is currently tied 1-1. Give me the Pacers in 6. I like the upset. Pacers have got a really good thing going. They got a good young core. They've got Pascal Siakam coming over from Toronto in that trade. Bucks, I feel like ever since firing their coach, the Bucks have just fallen apart. And yep, Yoni adds. Don't forget no Giannis for the Bucks at this point. Man, everyone I like is getting injured. Give me the Pacers in 6.
I was gonna say if Giannis can come back before Game 5, the Bucks may have a chance. But if not, Pacers in 6. I like the Pacers in 6 too.
Pacers are another
Doc Rivers. I'm not a big fan of Doc Rivers. He's an idiot. He's like Darwin Ham to me. He's an idiot.
You should ask Kylie what she feels. Speaking of Kylie, Knicks 76ers. Knicks are currently up 2-0. You know what?
Hey, that game too is crazy. Me and my grandma actually watched the ending of that game too the other day, and
that should have been a foul, man. That shit was dirty as hell.
Should have been a foul, but we were sitting there watching it, and I said to her, 40 seconds of basketball is a lot of time. Anything can happen. Only down 5 points, and sure enough, those boys came back and won that damn game. That shit was crazy.
I keep waiting for Side Talk to post a new video of Knicks fans going insane if they win this series. It'll be the greatest thing ever. I was watching it, and somebody caught on the broadcast one of the guys from Side Talk, this big old fat old Italian dude with a fat black mustache and beard who's appeared on Side Talk outside of Knicks games. They got a whole cast of characters there. That one kid who comes out, fresh out the garden. Now, man, go New York, go. I'm taking the Knicks to win this in 4.
I like the Knicks, man.
But I will say the Sixers kind of got screwed at the end of that game. I didn't even watch the end of that game because I haven't caught a lot of playoff games. I need to start catching these games. Man, I knew some shit had happened when I saw Kylie Kylie posted on Twitter, it's so sad what's happened to American sports now. Everything is rigged for money. Everything is all for Vegas's benefit. I was like, oh shit, what did the Sixers do? It's just like, all right, quick. The Phillies didn't do anything stupid. It wasn't them. The Devils didn't do anything stupid. It wasn't them. Sixers. Oh no. That's how you know. All you got to do whenever you oh man. At this time, I would like to point out that shout out to the Fired Up Sports Network, which is based out of Philadelphia. We love you guys for allowing us to do our own thing. Please don't cancel us. But yeah, that's how I knew. And I watched the clip. I was like, yeah, no, that's a foul. That's a what the fuck are the hell are the refs doing? Outside of that, I mean, what was it? Embiid got hurt. Another big name is down. I think the Knicks will take Game 3 tonight. I think.
Yeah.
And that's my take, at least. Yeah. Why are they scheduling all these games together? That's the one thing I want to say about the NBA playoffs is that they schedule all their games randomly together instead of spreading them out throughout the day. I just want to point out that the NHL has spread its out, which we're going to talk about next. And I know you don't really watch hockey, so we're just going to go really quick through this. But NHL playoffs are also going on at the same time. Man, it's so hard to predict them, but we'll do it anyway. So NHL playoffs. Start with the West. You've got let's see. Over in the West, you got the top seeded Dallas Stars taking on the wild card Golden Knights, defending champs. Golden Knights are currently up 2-0 over the Stars. I like the Stars to come back in this one, but I think the Golden Knights take this in 7 because in hockey, it's an eighth, like a wild card team upsetting a 1 seed happens a lot more often. So I'll take the Golden Knights to win that. Defending champs, they got all the momentum in the world.
I like that too, but I'm gonna actually go with the different side. I'm gonna take the Stars in 6, and I think they win 4 straight.
Ooh, okay. Dallas came alive this season. They were kind of a surprise, but they did make the cup a couple years ago. So it's the Dallas can pull shit off like that. Winnipeg taking on Colorado. They had an insane game too. I don't know if you saw the highlights of game 2, like 7-6 final score. They were just scoring nonstop. This is gonna be a fun series. It's tied 1-1. I'm gonna take the Jets to win. Winnipeg after the demise of Arizona. We'll talk about that in a sec. Winnipeg's like one of the last small market teams still surviving in the NHL. The way that their fans came out for their first 2 games and the way that they've responded this season, it's like, yeah, no, Winnipeg, they're not leaving Winnipeg anytime soon. And I'm going to take them to take down Colorado. I'm still salty about the 2021, the 2022 finals. Should have been Tampa. So
I'm gonna go with Winnipeg as well, just because they've won me some money in hockey before.
there you go. There you go. Real quick tangent because I mentioned it. I do want to know what your opinion is about the Arizona Coyotes. The bullshit happening with them. So for anyone who doesn't know what happened,
Yeah, I was gonna ask what did happen with that. I knew they were like aren't they relocating or something?
they're moving to Salt Lake City. So what happened was, so the Arizona Coyotes originally they were the original Winnipeg Jets, but back in like the 90s, Winnipeg was in the middle of a recession or something. Winnipeg is okay. Just to understand this for all my American homies. I'm American too. I'm not saying I know better, but this is just my opinion. Um, Winnipeg is kind of like in the middle of nowhere in Canada. It's cold, it's gross, and it's small. It is really tiny compared to the other big ones. Winnipeg is kind of like a Cincinnati in city size. It is a tiny ass city in the middle of the Canadian Rockies, no, in the middle of the Great Plains of Canada, and it kind of just exists out there. And they had a hockey team called the Winnipeg Jets who were not making money. They were good. They made the playoffs a lot, but there were also fewer teams back then, so oftentimes that would happen. And the Jets weren't making a lot of money, so they relocated to Arizona because the NHL was expanding rapidly in the late 90s and the early 2000s. They were putting teams in all new places, and they wanted to put a team in the desert. Everyone said that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Hockey cannot work in warm weather environments. Now let's go and put 3 teams in Florida. But so they move to Arizona, and they are shit. They are horrible. They have been one of the worst teams in the league for years. They had a couple of randomly really good years, like in the early 2010s, and even in like 2012, they went on a deep run and went to the Western Conference Finals. So they've had like a little bit of success, but for most of their history, the Coyotes have done nothing at all. Despite this, they still have a dedicated fan base who loves them because, hey, it's Arizona sports. You have to support them because there's nothing to do out here in the desert. No offense to anybody who's from Arizona. A couple years ago, things got bad. Coyotes had a situation where they got locked out of their arena in Glendale. Apparently, the owners weren't paying or something. I'm not super familiar with the details, but they had to they almost had to relocate out of like necessity. They managed to get allowed. They were allowed back into their stadium, but they had to relocate to a college stadium at Arizona State for the last couple of years because they just weren't making enough to stay at their current stadium. I think I'm saying that right. This year, it finally reached a breaking point, and the ownership group decided to relocate them to Salt Lake City at the end of the season. And it kind of came out of nowhere and blindsided the fans because a lot of people thought they might be able to stick around for a bit. We all knew that eventually they were going to either relocate or get sold, but a lot of people thought they would be sold first and that the NHL would just add a new team to Salt Lake City. Now it's like, okay, they're just going to move to Salt Lake City. So it's really just a bunch of bullshit because while they never found a lot of success in Arizona, this franchise was still beloved by so many people, despite the fact it sucks because the NHL is so fast and loose when it comes to relocations. Like teams will relocate all the time in the NHL. They don't do it a lot nowadays, but it used to be like every other year someone was relocating. You have teams move from Hartford to Carolina. You had a team move from Quebec to Colorado. The New Jersey Devils were originally the Kansas City Scouts. Like it used to be that you would relocate all the time, and you don't really see that anymore. And it always is a little heartbreaking when a team relocates. Because recently the NHL has just been like, oh, we'll just add new teams. Like they added a team in Vegas and a team in Seattle. Now we get a team in Salt Lake City. Kind of works. That area is better for hockey, but it comes at the expense of the Arizona fans. And despite all of the struggles that the franchise went through when they were in Arizona, it still sucks to the people who were loyal and were fans. And I will say this, Arizona does have a chance to bring the Coyotes back because it's kind of a Cleveland Browns situation where the city gets to retain the rights to the team, name, and history. But so the Salt Lake City team is going to be treated like a completely new franchise, if that makes sense. The NHL's been doing this for years, by the way. There's a lot of dormant franchises that don't exist anymore, but the NHL's like, we can bring you out of retirement if we want to. It's kind of like the Cleveland Browns when the Browns went away for 4 years because they relocated to Baltimore, and the NFL was like, yeah, well, the Cleveland gets to keep the name and the history. The Ravens are a brand new team. So that's what happened. I can't go into super detail, but that's essentially what happened with the Coyotes.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that knowledge there. So now that I'm more aware of the situation.
Yeah, it's hockey is hockey is weird because it's a great sport, but trying to get into it is really hard because there's almost all of the discourse isn't about the actual games that are being played, but more about the contracts people are signing. That's what I've noticed. That's why it's been so hard for me to get super into hockey because it's like, man, I just want to watch them play. I don't care about the like approximate value of this guy's contract, bro. I just want to see them hit each other. That's my take. So the rest of the series, we'll go rapid round here. First round, Western Conference, Vancouver Canucks taking on the Nashville Predators, which, by the way, Noam found out the Predators existed 2 weeks ago in our last show and was loving it. And his man was like, holy crap, there's a team based in Nashville with the saber-toothed tiger as their logo, and they're called the Predators? It's like, yeah. Yeah, they rolled the dice on the on a name and did not get the best one. Series is currently tied 1-1. Listen, Canucks fans have a history of burning their city down whenever they don't do well. So for the love of everything holy, go Canucks.
Now that I know that, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Canucks as well because I don't want anything bad to happen to this city.
Yeah, every time you pray that Vancouver does not make the finals, because if Vancouver makes the finals and they lose, they will burn their city to the ground. They have done it multiple times. Finally, we got Oilers Kings, Edmonton, Los Angeles. A lot of history between those two franchises. Series is tied 1-1. I don't like the Oilers, but they're really good, so I will take them to win in 6.
I'm going to go Kings. And the reason is because they won me some money before.
Nice. Nice. Over in the East, we've got the Florida teams battling, the Panthers battling the Lightning. Panthers are the defending Eastern Conference champs, taking on my Lightning. We're currently down 2-0. I'm going to take the Lightning to come back and win. I have faith in us, and the Panthers are pain. Their franchise is nothing but pain.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you guys as well, just because I think the Lightning are actually the one hockey team that I actually know in hockey. So
there you go. Bruins Maple Leafs, one of the most storied rivalries in hockey. Currently, Boston's up 2-1 in the series with Game 4 up next. I'm going to say that Toronto comes back and wins this one. I'm going to take the Maple Leafs to take this game. Or take this series.
No. Well, I'm going with Boston because Milani said no. So,
oh boy, just have Milani make all your picks here. Rangers Capitals getting back into the playoffs. Could be the last run with Ovi taking on the Rangers. Rangers are currently up 2-0. I'm going to take the Rangers to win, but I do want to see the Caps like push it to a deep series for Ovi because we don't know if this could be his last run or not.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rangers to win too, just because DC teams have a history of failing when it means something.
Yeah. Finally, Hurricanes Islanders. Carolina's up 2-0. I picked Carolina to win the East, I think, when we did our NHL season predictions. So way back in October. So I'm going to take Carolina to win this series in a clean sweep of the Islanders. I also don't like the Islanders. So.
Yeah, I'm going to take Carolina as well. I actually like them.
All right. Well, The NFL draft will be kicking off in a couple hours. A lot of excitement for the draft. Real quick,
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Who do you think? Who's Washington taking with their first pick? You're going to say?
I'm hoping Jaden Daniels. A lot of people say Drake May. It's between Daniels and May right now, and I understand the May hype. You know, the guy's 6'4" or whatever size, big arm, blah 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 blah. But I'll be honest with you, the guy reminds me of Josh Allen, and you know how I feel about Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And okay, baby, I'll get you agua right now, right after I say this. Yeah, you know how I feel about Josh Allen. And then on top of that, Jaden Daniels, he played in the SEC. Like, this is the difference between the guys. Like, I get the size and all that, but he played in the ACC. He didn't, like, there's nothing really over there. Like, I feel like a low, I feel like if you put Colorado in the ACC last year, they probably would have won the ACC. Just to be honest, just because they have a lot of great talent. And that's what a lot of the ACC is. But SEC, that is the closest thing to the NFL. And Jaden Daniels dominated the SEC. And not only did he dominate the SEC, he won a Heisman in the SEC.
Yeah.
And I feel like that there tells you who Washington needs to go with. So I'm hoping it's Jaden Daniels.
All right.
Let me get this girl some water before she kills me.
While you do that, I'll just cover some stuff we missed with the NFL. There was a notable death in the NFL last week that we didn't get to cover because we didn't have a show, and that was O.J. Simpson.
Rest in peace, O.J., man.
Yeah, look, I will be honest with y'all. This is gonna be. I will never speak ill of the dead, but I will say this: that was the most conflicting celebrity death report I've ever read. Because at first I was like, "Damn, rest in peace, Juice, bro!" Like, because he was an insane running back at his time. And then I remembered all the stuff that happened later after his career. I was like, "Oh, am I allowed to say rest in peace?" That was I was like, you know what? I'll be gonna separate the player from the person. Awesome player. Rest in peace, Juice. That's what I did.
Let's take away the off the field issues. On the field,
yeah,
the man was a legend.
Yeah,
and
broke 2,000 yards in a season rushing in a 14-game season. Like
first, and not only that, first 2,000-yard rusher, and he did it in less games than everybody.
This is nothing against him too, because he was also doing this for Buffalo, and Buffalo in the 70s was a sad, sad place. Like, yes. People forget OJ only had one playoff appearance. Like he literally had to carry his team every year because Buffalo had nothing outside of him. I've watched a lot of 70s games with OJ Simpson, and it's like watching Bills games from the 70s. Like, oh my God, somebody help this! Get this man some help for the get this man a quarterback, man. It's rough, but man, it's like rest in peace to Juice. Also, rest in peace to all the good uniforms, because holy crap, did you see all of the terrible uniforms?
The Broncos look like Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, they do. They do. 4 teams have new uniforms. Jets went back to their classics from the 80s. Good. Excellent. Love it. No complaints. Broncos. No, take them back. Redesign. No, those are horrible. That is one of the worst rebrands I've ever seen. No one was asking for new uniforms, and if we wanted anything new from Denver, it would be for them to bring back the classic, like with the D on the helmet, because those were clean. But man, I'm glad they did. But also, man, like they messed around with something that didn't need to be changed. That's the worst when like a sports franchise does that.
Yeah,
that's gross. Oh crap! Who are the other teams who changed their unis?
I think the Lions got new uniforms.
Lions did. Love them. Lions kind of brought back the like 90s-esque uniforms with the brighter colors on the jerseys, but they also brought back the black jerseys. They brought back the black jerseys for the 2000s. Love those. No complaints. I love the Lions. They incorporated like the traditions of the past uniforms, but they also updated them a little bit. That's awesome. So, and then Houston. So Houston made their first ever change to their uniforms. They ditched the navy and just went with black and red. So they kind of look like the Falcons, but they incorporated kind of the Oilers blue into their alternates. And I'm like, all right.
I don't
It
think
looks
I
like,
was on the podcast after the Stephon Diggs trade. That is probably the most insane
I don't
thing
think you were. Yeah, you were.
that
Yeah,
happened
and
this
then they got
offseason.
Houston has suddenly turned themselves into a legit Super Bowl contender like overnight, and it's scary.
1,000%.
It's scary. I don't because Houston is the only team in the NFL that has never made it to a conference championship game. They've never made it past the second round. And to be fair, it is mainly due to the fact that they have only existed for about 20-ish years, just only 22 years of existence. So to be fair, they haven't been around a lot. But you would have thought in that time they probably would have made a deep run at least once, and they haven't. So this could be the year for Houston. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's fair enough.
I think they'll be good. Yeah, I mean, as a fan, I hate it, of course, because it's not my team. But
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they're going to be very dominant.
Well, we'll see what happens tonight with the draft to see who they're going to add to the squad. Speaking of the draft, first round pick, probably going to be Caleb Williams. Before we go, I'm going to ask you this question, Calvin. What surprise? What do you think is going to be the biggest surprise of this draft?
Like biggest surprise is in who will be a surprise player to me, or like what
Big like decision. Like, is somebody going to make something stupid? Are we
Ooh.
going to get another like Giants 2019? It's like, let's take Daniel Jones with the 7th overall pick here.
I think that somebody's going to make a big splash and find a way to get to number 3. Get the number 3 New England and draft Drake May at number 3. I don't know if it'll be the Giants or the Vikings, but I think the Giants or the Vikings trade up to number 3 tonight and draft Drake May.
All right. I'm gonna be honest. I think JJ McCarthy doesn't get drafted first round. That's my hot take. I think that people are gonna realize that he got carried by his running back and are just gonna stop overhyping this kid.
Yeah, I don't even know why he's projected to go first round.
I don't, man. He's
like, I even went back and watched film, like not highlights, but I actually went to watch the film on the guy, and I don't know what it is that makes people say like, oh, this is a first round guy. Like his running, he had 2 great running backs, not just one. Like Donovan Edwards is great as well.
Yeah. I don't know. It's because the league is so quarterback heavy that they see a quarterback win a national championship and immediately think like, oh, he could be good. And it's like, guys, did we not watch the whole Mac Jones saga? Like, come on, guys, remember?
Didn't AJ McCarron win a national championship?
Yeah, like come on, y'all. But that was before because back we didn't like say about AJ McCarron. AJ McCarron won national championship. It was like, yeah, but Alabama running backs and defense. No, it was like it's like guys like this is like a Mac Jones situation again. It's like yeah, the guy won a national championship. But his receiver won the Heisman and he didn't.
Right.
So what does that say about him when the Heisman voters looked at the guy throwing? Was like, you know what, that guy throwing all the touchdowns is really good. But the guy catching them, though, I know we're supposed to only give the Heisman to a quarterback, a running back, or a guy who can do it all. But man, there's just something about the way that kid catches balls from that scrawny white boy who doesn't belong out there. That just there's something special. That's literally how it went down. Speaking of Heisman's, they gave Reggie Bush his Heisman back.
Yes, they did give Reggie his Heisman back. It's about damn time too.
Justice. That's all I'm gonna say. Justice. With the shit that players are able to get away with nowadays because of NIL, it's like, yeah, hell yeah, give his Heisman back.
The funny thing is, though, so when it's going back to OJ, when OJ Simpson died last week, the Heisman Twitter account or X account, whatever the hell it is,
they had
Twitter. Tweeted out. They had tweeted out. They were like, "Our condolences to OJ Simpson and his family, blah, blah, blah." Somebody had quote tweeted it once Reggie Bush got his Heisman back and was like, "This is the tweet right here that got Reggie his Heisman back." Oh my God. I was like, wow, the dark humor in this is crazy.
And I think that is a great place to stop because the Yankees are about to start and the NFL draft starts in 1
Juan Soto
hour.
home run. I need it, please.
Hey, he's been cooking. Yankees are cooking, man. Hey, big shout out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. As always, the Beer Batter Sports Podcast is a proud affiliate of the Fired Up Sports Network. Go check out all of their podcasts, including our friends over at Bell Smashers with our former co-host Kylie. They're having a great season so far. You can follow us on all of our socials at @BBSports_pod and check out our Twitter bio for our merch. We might have a surprise for you guys in the next couple of months. Might be something we're cooking up. So stay tuned because trust me, I'm not yanking your chain here. And I know I do that sometimes, but I'm not this time. We might be cooking something up. So stay tuned.
Special.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you guys next week. We'll let you know about any updates on what time we're going to do it. Thank you guys for putting up with us canceling yesterday's episode and moving it to today. Just things kind of worked out that way. But in the meantime, we will see you guys next week. Peace.
We are part of the Fired Up Sports Network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.